Hi, my name is Dr. David Bowman. I'm a board-certified family physician and the Chief Medical Officer of the Healthy Life Company, JD Premium. If you've been watching the news, you've seen that we are in the middle of a flu epidemic. In fact, the World Health Organization has given us warnings of a global pandemic. You may have wondered, why is it that we get sick more in the winter than we do in the summer? For years, we blamed it on group gatherings. We'd get together in the winter and cough on each other. Well, the same viruses are present in the summer and the winter. The question is, why is it that we're more susceptible and catching those viruses in the winter? And the answer is because of vitamin D. We get vitamin D from the sun. So, if you are not out in the sun, especially during those winter months, you are more susceptible to infection. In fact, they did some research in 1998. They found that on an average, nearly half of us are deficient in vitamin D. They even did study those who took 400 international units a day were still deficient in vitamin D. Those who lived above the 35th parallel of the Earth were deficient in vitamin D. In fact, they had more multiple sclerosis, more problems because they were living further away from the sun. So, how does vitamin D do it? Specifically, what is it doing to help us with the flu? And basically, it does two things. Number one, because of the presence of vitamin D3, our body can make white blood cells, monocytes is what they're called, that help fight infection. Second, vitamin D3 itself helps your body make its own natural antibiotic and antiviral molecules. You can almost think of it like an antibiotic or an antiviral. So, the question is, how much do you take to be able to get that effect? Quite a controversy. A lot of different doctors, different positions on how much you should take. Let me give you my advice on what to take, because it depends on several things. How much you weigh, if you're older you need more, if you're sick, or if you're well. This is what I'm going to recommend. So, for example, if you weighed 160 pounds, I would recommend that you take this stuff right here. It's Sol-RD. There's 4,000 international units in one capsule. What you would do if you're 160 pounds, and I want you to ignore this part at the beginning, and just look if you're well. I want you to take one of these Sol-RDs every day. If you weighed 80 pounds, you would need one every other day. If you weighed 40 pounds, like a 4 or 5-year-old kid, you would take one of these 2 times a week. If it was a 20-pound child, they would need one of these a week. And if it were a 10-pound infant, they would only need one of these every other week. Now, they're a capsule, but they're easy to open. You could put them in formula, applesauce, any way it takes to get this down us, because it is so vital and important. Now, if you're sick, it's a different ballgame. Remember, I want you to think of this as ways for your body to mount a defense. So, if you're sick, this is what I want you to do. If you weighed 160 pounds, I want you to do 40 capsules every day for 3 days. 40. You're going to think, how's that possible? That'd be too many pills. They're just tiny capsules. You could take them out if you want, put them in the applesauce if you want to, but get them down, and that's 40 every day for 3 days. After the 3 days, you'd go right back to 1 a day. That's if you're 160 pounds. If you're 80 pounds, you would do 20 capsules every day for 3 days. At the end of the 3 days, you'd go back to 1 every other day. 40 pounds, 10 capsules every day for 3 days. Then back to this. 20 pounds, 5 capsules every day for 3 days. Back to this. 10 pounds, you'd have 2.5 capsules every day for 3 days, and then that infant would then go back to 1 every other week. So, I'm going to write this. It's so important. You've got to remember the name. Sol-RD. Because not all of vitamin D3 is the same. This is a pharmacy grade. It is ISO. It meets ISO standards, GMP guidelines. You've got to make sure that you've got a good product. Now, not everyone can take vitamin D3 if you've got some rare things like sarcoidosis and granulomatous diseases and patients with lymphomas. You cannot take this without getting with your doctor and having those levels checked right away. Also, one other medicine called hydrochlorothiazide. If you're taking that, I want you to check with your doctor. I do want you to realize that at the end of that 3 days, if you're still having symptoms, you may need more than this, but you're going to need your levels checked. And if you're wondering at all, or if you are suspicious that you may be out of balance. It's such an easy test, a little finger poke, and you can check your vitamin D3 level at home. Or you can go to your doctor and they can check your vitamin D3 level, because you don't want to get too much. But this right here, I have found, is the best dosage guideline to go with, at least at this time. So, will this help other things besides the flu? Absolutely. There's 17 different cancers that have been shown to be reduced by taking Sol-RD. There's less heart disease with vitamin D3. There's less arthritis with vitamin D3. And so basically, what I want you to do is make sure that you've got this brand. I want you to get it as soon as you can. Literally, a bottle of this for 120 capsules runs about $10 to $13. Think of what you're spending on lozenges, decongestants, all of that when you're sick. It is not worth it when this is so inexpensive and prevents cancer and all of these other things. Whatever you do, get a bottle, keep it on hand, and please tell your friends, tell everyone that you can.